Today on Beardo and Weirdo, we're talking about addiction, recovery, and I want to ask a sincere question of Brian Head Welch from KORN, and I don't know how to ask it. Chris offers to help, then he backs out at the end. Are you ready?
This episode of Beardo and Weirdo.
Beardo and Weirdo. We're being joined by two sponsors who are not paying to be a part of this show.
But you know what? We just reached 1,000 subscribers. Woo!
Yeah, we did.
Let's monetize this bitch. Let's go.
Dude, you know what's crazy is getting text messages from random rock stars who I haven't told we're doing a show, but they're hitting me up and going, yes, I would absolutely love to be a part of your show, even though you haven't asked me.
Really?
And
Who said that?
A couple of guys, the singer Robert Mason from Warrant, who's got amazing Ozzy stories. We have a great Ozzy story today because we're being joined by Brian Head Welch from KORN, who I read his book. And at the beginning of his book, he says, I think he's put out 4 books now, but in the book that I read about how he had that massive religious experience, he talks about how Ozzy that was the bug that he got. He got bit by the bug from Ozzy's solo music that made him want to be a musician.
Oh, I thought you meant a Christian.
A Christian.
Yeah. I was like, damn, that's a powerful message coming from that man. Let me listen to Speak of the Devil. Praise Jesus.
But Robert Mason from Warrant actually toured for a year or two, just sitting behind the stage and doubling up Ozzy's vocals.
Really?
Yeah, he's talked about that publicly. I'm not sharing any secrets out of school. But Brian, the reason Brian got into music was because of Ozzy. So I'm excited to have him on and share some Ozzy stories.
And not for nothing, Brian Welch, the reason that I wear Adidas.
Is that right?
Call us, Adidas. We got 1,000 subscribers now. Let's go.
This episode brought to you by Sharpie, the best marker in the world.
Let me check my message on my Apple iPhone.
Apple, making life better.
Because fuck Samsung. Green ass bubble motherfuckers.
Fuji.
Bleep that out. We're trying to get monetized here.
Be an elite cunt. Fuji.
Evian. Naive spelled backwards.
But yeah, Brian also being in recovery. You know, at the end of Brian's run, I was at the end of my run 20 years ago.
And you fans watching at home are suddenly thinking, wait, Greg ran?
We were both at the end of our addictions 20 years ago. I remember we got in a really intense discussion on a tour bus outside of Tampa. There's some outdoor amphitheater outside of Tampa, Florida. And we just got super honest. And I think the girl I was dating at the time was with me. She had the weirdest experience because she knew me when I was partying. And I said, man, I got to quit. I can't live like this anymore. And she was like, okay, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I quit. She goes, okay, hey, whatever you want to do. And I stayed sober and she didn't. And it made the whole dynamic. It was weird because she was like.
What's your take on that now? Like, are you able to date someone who isn't sober?
No, I don't. I mean, my girlfriend is sober. She's been sober for a few years. So that hasn't even been an issue. But I can't hang out with a girl who parties.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, what about you? Do you feel?
My thing is like, I didn't think I used to have a problem with it. Like if you do your thing, I do my thing. Cool. It doesn't affect me. But I see that spiritual disconnect just after one drink. Something happens to the eyes that I can see now.
Wow.
And that connection is no longer there. So I don't like it in that sense. And secondly, at this point, I don't think I'm going to God willing, I don't consider relapse to be an issue for me right now. But if I am dating someone who's drinking, then I feel left out that I can't drink. I don't want to drink, but it does something in me where I'm like, oh man, like I can't do that. And it makes me feel left out. And I don't want to say less than, but maybe a little bit, just because I know if I do something, I'm doing it all. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's
I don't feel left out. Like, if anything, I'm like, let me get out of here. But you
yeah.
actually feel a little bit like, I wish I could be a part of this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just because all the years of dating and drinking, and that was all part of the whole thing, just a
That's
part of the
interesting.
experience. I mean, life is much better now that I'm not doing all that stuff, but there still is a little bit. But I haven't dated anybody that hasn't been sober in a long time. But so yeah, so now it's just like I found it better connections, deeper spiritual connections, and just yeah, it's get that out of the way. Why do I want to introduce that into my life in that close proximity at all? Really? Yeah.
I guess it's funny because you're basically just describing a trigger point for you.
Mhm.
And my trigger points were social pressures.
Mhm.
I remember being around a bunch of musicians who I really admired, and I had never seen piles of cocaine before, but there were piles of cocaine on a big glass table in a
Those at home
hotel.
probably saw my face light up still.
Yeah.
Like piles.
It was, I
Piles,
mean,
yeah.
dude, I'd never seen it. It was here in Vegas on a
Mhm.
New Year's Eve concert, and I would feel the pressure of like, oh, I want these people to think I'm cool, so I don't want them to think like, why is he not partying? And then
Mhm.
you realize they're so fucked up. Why would you want them to think anything about you?
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter.
And most of the time when they find out that you don't do anything, they're like, how?
Right.
That is so cool. Then you're really cool because they're
Right.
like, how are you able to?
Well, that's the thing is I started to notice as time went on that there were some musicians out there. I'd go to concerts and I'd talk to people afterwards and I'd be like, hey man, you want me to get you a beer? And they'd go, I don't drink. And I'd go, oh, you don't? And they go, no. And I go, oh, how come?
Yeah.
I just, I have a problem. I was like, oh, what's your problem? And then, I was so rude. I
Yeah.
was so rude about it.
No, you.
And yeah, so rude. I'm telling you, man,
Hey!
you're starting to realize
Yeah.
that something I've been telling you for a long time is I lack self-awareness. I need people to point out like, hey man, like with Billy Joel, might not be in the smoothest thing to walk up to one of the most successful artists of all time and just think I could go, hey, what's up?
Yep.
Hey, Billy.
When is this episode coming out, you said?
I'm going to bury it forever.
Uh-huh.
No,
I'm going to make sure that you don't bear it. Hand me that gift. Hand me that gift I got for Craig Gas.
Shut the
Yes, sir.
No.
Yep.
This episode hasn't even come out yet.
Yep.
We had an embarrassing moment. Honest to God, I've told that story so many times without realizing how embarrassing it is until I told Chris. And Chris genuinely laughs the hardest I've ever seen him laugh.
So for this episode, since that entire episode isn't coming out, let's insert in this episode just how much this incident made me laugh. And then it was infectious throughout the whole crew here.
All right.
And
so we'll
not
run that.
I don't want to give you any sort of no spoilers. You're going to have to tune in later. The only spoiler.
We'll just show a few seconds of laughter right here.
Yeah.
I love how much just that tickled Chris. Was that too casual, guy, for you? Why did that make you laugh so hard?
Hey, Billy.
And the laughter was because of,
hey, Billy. It's been 24 hours.
What an asshole.
Yes, you were.
Yes, you
were.
Wow.
So there's a little teaser for you for episode whatever the hell we get around to it.
Oh,
But,
my God.
man,
So
one of the best laughs I've had in a long time at your expense, which I said in my gratitude list today. But thank you for that moment of joy.
Well,
this moment of joy presented by Craig Gass.
So trigger points for me also included going to outdoor concerts for some reason. Going to summertime concerts used to be with a backpack full of cans of beer. This is pre 9/11. They would let you just walk in. Your face actually just went.
Yeah, just thinking about hot summer beers.
And so we'd fill up a backpack with a case of beer and then walk.
What kind of beer?
Oh
The
God.
trash where you drinking have a,
You know
have a
what?
backpack.
We'd get Budweiser. We would. I mean, it wasn't like when I was a kid, I would drink Old Style because Old Style was the cheapest.
Okay.
You could play. We play quarters with Old Style.
Yeah.
And you can look on the can. You can see there's people having sex on the can. That's always like the little hidden
yeah?
Easter egg. Yeah.
See-
Alex just nodded his head. You know what I'm talking about?
See,
There's you
gentlemen,
can-
I drink adult drinks. I drink
Yeah.
whiskey.
yeah.
I don't know about
Well,
the Bud Bull.
I graduated to whiskey and cocaine, but
There we go.
I had.
My guy.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, buddy.
So I had. I would have a backpack just full of beer, and we'd go backstage, get a couple of red cups, and just start filling up the beers. But as the night goes on, it's just hot beer, and we're just drinking warm beer
Yeah.
and getting hammered at the concert. So yeah, you're right to make that face.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is I've now over the years, there's so many people in the touring industry who are in recovery. I have gone back to a lot of those venues, and I've done meetings backstage at those shows with people in recovery.
With me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've actually painted over those, what used to be temptation filled places for me. Like, oh man, it's weird being here, not drinking.
Yeah.
And I've actually got a fresh coat of paint. You know, it was the first time I ever saw that in my life. It was before my addictions ever even got the best of me. When I was like 20 years old, I went to a Grateful Dead concert at the Compton Terrace in Phoenix, Arizona.
You telling me there are drugs at the Grateful Dead concert?
There was a recovery meeting going on in the middle of the concert venue, like out in the general admission area. I saw a
Nice.
bunch of people sitting around, and I was like, "The hell is this?" And they had a name for the group too, like a specific name to Grateful to Deadheads who were in recovery, and they were doing a meeting out in the GA section of the concert, man. And I was like, I mean, at the time I was like, oh man, this is weird, man. I need some drugs, you know. And then eventually found my way down that path. But it's it's crazy to go back and be able to. You can do that with anything in life. Anything that's a temptation point for you. You can actually take different approaches to. What were you about to say?
I was talking in the tours that I was doing today at the Punk Rock Museum. Someone was asking me about sobriety, and they were like, "Man, it's got to be so hard being out there on the road, like trying to stay sober." It's not.
Yeah.
You put yourself in situations. If I wanted to do drugs and alcohol, I know where to go for that. If I want to stay away from that and do other things, I know where to go for that. It's just a matter of the decisions that you make and doing things different, taking contrary action. Because, I mean, whatever you want is out there. If you want LSD at a Grateful Dead concert, boom, it's easy. Also at that same concert, Recovery Center, right there, a recovery circle right there in the middle of the show.
Did you tell me that you never did coke until you were 36 years old?
36 years old, yeah.
How does that happen that you don't?
Well, Craig, when I was in the band, I was but a virgin of many sorts. I was.
You didn't do coke until you were in Five Finger Death Punch?
Yep, that's when. When I first did it, and I was very much of the opinion, like, I don't know how long this is going to last, so I got to make sure I do everything.
Wow.
Yeah, and
how long were you in the band until you did coke?
I don't remember that part actually. I remember being. I say 36 when it happened. It was fairly early, within the first year probably, because I love drinking. I was drinking like not crazy at that point, but again, it was one of those things. It was like, oh, everything's around. I'm in a rock and roll band. I'm living the dream. I got to do this.
Well, dude, you'd been a musician for so long. You'd had cocaine around you.
Not that I recall.
You're
even
kidding.
in like bartending, even.
Whoa!
Yeah, even
you were
bartending
not
in
paying
Vegas.
attention. You
Exactly.
were not paying attention.
Exactly. It was everywhere.
I was gonna say, because you're bartending in Vegas, dude.
Yeah.
You are not. You just didn't have an eye for it.
And staying out till 5 a.m.
Yes.
with people that were still drinking at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's weird. All my friends are wide awake at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I am so tired.
So,
I don't
yeah,
get it. Yeah.
I don't have the energy my buddies have.
I got to drive home.
Man, their jaws look so strong.
Yeah. And everybody has this business idea. Everyone wants to talk. I just gambled all my money at the machines. I got no money for business.
My friends won't shut the fuck up. I don't know what it is about them at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Look, this is Vegas, 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, so many nights of walking out in a dark building, opening that door to that hot, bright Vegas sun. Ugh. I just went to a baby shower for a friend just recently, and it was in the middle of the afternoon at a bar. And walking out of that bar, it's just like, oh, I remember this. This was terrible.
You know the phrase that our buddy Matt Flynn calls it?
No.
Matt Flynn, he's a musician, plays, He's the drummer dude, Maroon 5. He calls it the congressional hearing. Because it's like you're snorting lines going.
Yeah, yeah.
The perfect phrase for it.
Probably not a whole lot of people in Congress doing that, though, right? Yeah. Not one bit.
So you're 36 years old. Do you remember what it felt like the first time you did
Yep, I did it the right way. I did it in the back of a tour bus with I don't want to say who it was.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. So on the road.
I thought you were about to say, I did it the right way. I did it in the butt. Wait, you said in the back.
Boofing? Is that what it is? Yeah.
You went straight to the back.
No,
back of a tour
in the
bus.
back of a tour bus on tour.
Were you scared the first time you snorted? I mean, you're 36 years. You're supposed to have some kind of sense about you.
Not really. And I'd been warned. There was other people that drank and had done that, and were like, dude, don't do it. It's going to ruin your drinking.
Really?
It's going to ruin your drinking. And my God, when I did that, I could drink so much. I drank tons as it was.
Oh yeah.
As I progressed with alcoholism. But then that was like, oh wait, I can still hang out and talk all night long. Wow. Yeah, full of, I'm sure, great stories. And
wow. Yeah,
fun
dude.
quips.
So do you remember getting a euphoria that first time?
It was the best thing in the world the very first time. The best. I was like, oh my God, I'm clear. I'm able to talk. This is fun. I'm doing this. Give me a little bit more. This is great. I'm still enjoying this. Let me have some more. And I never had that same high ever again.
You're
just
basically
that first time. I was chasing it every single time. It was only really good one time. Other than that, it was just like, oh yeah, I'll do it to try to get back up there.
You're painting the story that everybody tells.
Yeah.
That's what
crazy.
everyone talks about. I still remember I was 15 years old, first time I did it. And I remember looking at my friends and going, I know a lot of people do, like a lot of people say bad things about Coke. Do they ever talk about how good it is? Because this is amazing. This is like the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. This is so amazing.
You were Hunter Biden before Hunter Biden.
I was,
yeah.
man.
Have you seen that interview where he's talking about how great it is and it's better for you than alcohol?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, anyone who's done cocaine could tell you it's amazing. By the way, this episode is brought to you by cocaine. Get your some. 15 years old, get some. Honestly, if it wasn't so bad, I'd recommend it. It's so good. It's so good. But that's
Could you imagine trying to do it now too? With all the fentanyl that's in this stuff?
Oh, that's
I'm
scary.
so glad that I got out of it. Yeah.
I had a, I don't know if I should
That's
say
the worst
this.
thing I had to worry about was a heart attack back in the day.
There was
and speaking of which, there were times when I woke up in the middle of the night, I'd be dead asleep. I wake up.
Really?
Deep breath. I was like, oh my God. Like,
dude.
And there was another time, I mean, it scared me to death. I felt like the falling sensation. And I remember in my dream going, no, not yet, not yet. Woke up. Yeah. It scared me to death. I thought it was happening.
And then you kept going.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember.
Duh, Craig.
I can remember doing coke alone because that's eventually how it turns out.
Yep.
You end up doing coke alone. And I can remember just being up late at night and going, oh shit. I think I'm having a heart attack. And I'd wait and I go, okay.
Yeah.
And I do another line.
Yep.
It's like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah.
What are you?
Just let me get through this day, please. I'm never tomorrow.
That's the only time in my life I've ever had that moment. And it's a quiet voice in the back of my head where I'd been up all night doing coke. The sun is up. I do the last bit. I'm like, oh man, I'm trying to get the rest of it as I can. Try to get the biggest
Scrape it out of the bag.
And then
looking
snorting
at the
that
carpet.
last part and that feeling of like, I need more.
Yeah.
Like, and in that moment, that voice in the back of your head goes, you're a drug addict. Like, and you won't listen to it. You'll be like, oh man, I just need to get to sleep. And then you're miserable in your own skin the rest of the day. You're trying to get to sleep. That whole day is fucked.
Getting big cringes over here. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Everyone ends up going down that same path. It starts out for me, sounds like for you too, socially. It's like, oh man, dude, I feel great. I'm totally on top of all these conversations. Dude, that first time I ever did coke, I had the greatest conversation of my life about nothing.
Absolutely. Every conversation on cocaine is about nothing.
Euphoric. It is euphoric. I can remember just moments I was in my life as the years passed where I put myself in dangerous situations with guys that were like Mexican mafia guys that we'd be in a stall of a restroom and they'd have a hunting knife up to my nose and I'd be like, You know, like, what am I doing here? Like, what am I like
living, man?
Yeah.
Living.
It's just
creating
crazy.
content for podcasts 20 years later.
And then the excitement, all the fun gets shorter and shorter. The pain gets longer and longer.
Yeah.
The misery gets longer and longer. The feeling of less than gets more and more. It was weird.
Yeah.
I never
Not being able to make your own dopamine anymore, just depressed. Ugh.
I never had negative feelings before. I had never had negative feelings or felt
before. Got it.
that until I would get those downswings on the back end of doing coke, and
Absolutely.
I would feel less than. And I would just feel shittier and shittier about myself, and I would just feel like I'm nothing. I'm a loser. I'm less than nothing. Never had those feelings. Thankfully, ever happen naturally in my system, but they happened at the back end of
Absolutely.
day or two of doing coke.
And you had a period of time where you were sober, and then you relapsed after that. Was the depression immediate when you had that relapse? Because that's what happened to me. I was good, and then the minute I had that first glass of red wine, it wasn't fun at all. There wasn't even like, oh, I'm doing this. No, it was, oh my God, here we go.
Oh, really? It was right into the negative feeling.
Terrible. Yeah, immediately.
I don't remember negative feelings. I just remember thinking, oh man, my tolerance is so low right now.
Mhm.
I gotta muscle through this and get back to where I should be.
Yeah.
And they always say in recovery that when you are sober, that your addict is right outside the door doing push-ups. And oh my God, was that true?
Yeah.
When I relapsed and I started going at it again, it just
I always turned it around. I'm in the gym too. I'm the hell with that dude in the parking lot. Whoop his ass.
That's actually I love that thought.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, I remember just being so much worse, so much worse than I was before. I was even if there was no beer, if there was like bottles of wine in the fridge of a hotel room, I'd open up the bottles of wine and just chug it, like just trying to get some, it's crazy, man. It's the addiction.
We were talking about that bud earlier. I was dating a girl when I got sober, and she would keep Trulies in the fridge, and I was like, that's fine. She goes, I'm worried about, like, is that going to be tempting? I'm gonna go, honey, if I relapse, it ain't gonna be on fucking Trulies. I do man shit, girl.
But for you, it was cocaine was the problem.
Yep.
Same as me.
Yep.
And then alcohol, right?
Yeah. Alcohol. I don't know that it was a problem for many, many years, but then when I went into rehab, you're thinking about like your journey to getting into rehab. And I looked at my drinking habits at that point. I couldn't recall a time from the moment that I moved to Las Vegas in 2002 until rehab in 2018 that I had not gone a full week without having some sort of drink.
Really?
From that time to that time. Because, you go out to dinner, you grab a margarita, you're going out to a show, grab a, whatever you're drinking there. It wasn't all the time, but I can't, like, it's something was always associated. Like going out to dinner, you're going to grab drinks. Going to a concert, you're going to get drinks. And then, introduce cocaine and no responsibility and lots of time on your hands. Woo!
Yeah, I remember early on when I got on the Howard Stern show and I started traveling around the country for the first time, I go out and visit the cities that we were on the air in, back when we were on terrestrial radio, before we were on satellite.
Yeah.
And every station that I would visit, they'd bring me in to, because there was always the local affiliate was promoting the show. And somebody from the station would say, all right, well, we got the company credit card. We're taking you out tonight for drinks.
Mhm.
We're going to take you out to the nicest restaurant. And then, which I didn't know what a nice restaurant was back then. I still hadn't, because
Outback.
a guy picked me up in Buffalo, New York, and he said, we got the station credit card. Where do you want to go for dinner? And I said, we can go anywhere. And they go, yeah. And I go, was that a Long John Silver's over by the airport?
Hell yeah.
They go, dude, we can go anywhere. And I go, let's go to Long John Silver's. And I was like, and they were like, Long John Silver's. And I was like, you clearly haven't had a chicken plank. Because I was like,
just the crumbs alone.
yeah, just you looking at me like that shows me you have not had a chicken plank. Because if you had a chicken plank, you'd be going, oh, fuck it. You want to do this? I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And we'd go. But
you were over there with company credit card. Keep them planks coming, honey. Yep.
Planks for everybody. Hush puppies for everybody. You did well. I ring the bell. But,
I'm gonna need a diet soda, please.
Yeah. Yeah, the Crispies in that thing.
Oh,
but every night was somebody taking me out for drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd come home for a couple of days in New York and I'd be like, oh man, what should I do? I should just go drink. and I'd go to the bar downstairs from my apartment and have some drinks.
Yep.
And then it just became this thing of like, I don't know, this is what I'm supposed to do. And it somehow just got in this rut of drinking all the time. Drinking wasn't really my thing. It was Coke.
Yeah.
That was really my thing. I'm grateful that it never got heavier than that. You told me that you once did liquid LSD. Was that by accident?
Sadly, no, it was not by accident. I went to a spot where they were hanging out, partying, and kids at home, let me tell you, if ever someone in the room looks to be the most crazy, disturbed individual in the room, don't do anything this person gives you, tells you to do. There was the guy. I was still partying, obviously, back then.
Vegas?
And no, it was out on the road somewhere. I don't remember what city it was.
But you're on tour.
I'm sure Zach Myers remembers because he was able to bring up my stuff. So Zach, you remember this? Well, I know it was.
So you were
right
on tour.
We played a Hard Rock
with
wherever it was.
Okay, but
wherever it was, we were getting ready to play the Hard Rock the next day.
Okay,
I took this at the night before. We're hanging out, and the guy asked me, "You ever done LSD?" And that really wasn't my thing. I was like, "No, I haven't done it in a while, but I mean, let's go." He goes, "Oh, I got liquid LSD. Cool. Let me try that for the first time." Brought out like a little Dixie cup. This episode sponsored by Dixie.
And cocaine at 15. Cocaine. Ruin your life.
LSD. Bring some color into your life. They brought out a Dixie cup with just like liquid in it. And I'm hanging out and drinking. I had to been doing other stuff as well, probably, but I don't recall doing it that night. But I took a little bit, drank a little bit, and then we went to like a strip club for a little while.
On LSD.
Yeah, and it was fun. Like I didn't feel it at all. Stayed there for maybe half an hour.
Like girls' dragon wings are fucking hot.
Why is there butterflies everywhere?
Yeah,
it's because it's a bottomless strip club. Stupid.
What?
Yeah. So we go back to the house that we were at, where I had originally started taking the liquid LSD. The cup was still there, and I was like, man, I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna go ahead and take this whole cup. Whoosh. Yep.
Oh no.
30 minutes later, I looked at my friend and I go, I am not okay. It was.
And you had a show the next day.
Yeah, the show the next day. This was probably 11:30 at night. I was going on stage probably at 10 o'clock the next night.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was terrible. Amazing at first. I always talk about this. Like they had some bunk beds in the back, and I went and laid down in the bunk and was looking
on your bus.
No, at this place that we were hanging out.
At a strip club?
No, at the house.
The house. I was like, oh shit.
Okay. Yeah, probably a kid's bed now. Think about it. Okay, just go lay in there.
This Viking-looking motherfucker from Five Finger Death Punch is in your kid's room.
Go in the bunk bed, stupid. Yeah. I never had bunk beds when I was a kid. This is nice.
You're walking there hallucinating, going, hey, hey, Jesus.
So I'm laying down and looking at the bunk above me. And one of the newest Queens of the Stone Age records had come out. And I was listening to that in my headphones. I was just like, oh, I get it now, man. I get it. This is great.
Wow.
Oh, I was just listening. All the songs that were on
the
there.
music landscape. It's creating a vibe for you.
And I was looking up at the bunk, and I had taken so much that I wasn't registering reality anymore. I felt like I was imagining it being like imagine you're on underwater on a beach with the waves rolling in, and you're underneath the water looking up at those waves coming. Wow. It was just vibrant colors rolling up there. I was just like, wow.
It's actually a beautiful experience.
It was awesome. Until it wasn't.
Okay.
And then I just started getting real paranoid.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, my God, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. My phone wasn't working. I was in like a dead cell phone area.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, my God, like nobody with my crew knows where I'm at right now.
Oh, wow.
I'm just walking out here. I don't know what the hell's going on. And the people that I was with, they were like, man, we thought we fucked you up completely, because I was just like gone, and I was getting nervous. I was scared because I didn't know how long this was going to last. I knew I had to play at 10 o'clock the next night, and the sun came up, and I was like, oh my God, I got to get back to the hotel. I got to rest. I got to hide, basically. The same guy that gave me liquid LSD, that's the guy who drove me to the hotel. Not making the best decisions. Got back to the hotel, and I had to do press at like 5 or 6. and I was still off at
Whoa.
5 or 6.
The next evening.
Yeah, before the show.
Oof.
Yeah, 5 or 6. I'm going on at, like, say, 10 probably. Still just like, this is something not terrible, but I was off, and it just didn't feel right.
Is this the night that Zach sees you going by in a stretcher?
No, that's a whole different story.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, that was another terrible decision.
When we ran into the
Same
guys,
tour probably, though.
okay.
Yeah.
When we ran into the guys from Shinedown, Zach started bringing up memories about you that I was like, what?
That's what we need to have on here. Let's hear.
Yeah.
Let's have him tell his perception and perspective of those stories.
Okay.
He was there.
Yeah, because Zach said he'll do the show anytime. So
Yeah, especially if you get to make fun of me.
yeah.
But
then you still have a few hours left to do the show.
yeah, and I'm just like, it was awful. And again, most everybody in the band is sober at that point, and
Except for
I
you.
know if they look at me, they're going to be able to tell.
Oh, so you're worried about
the
even
new
getting
guy-
in trouble.
The newish guy
Ooh,
still
that's
do
a bad
yeah.
spot.
Oh, and then I'm starting to get more paranoid, and I don't think I felt right until about a half an hour before I went on stage.
There's something, don't you think, like, I've always said this about doing stand-up, and I hear a lot of musicians say this too. Sick as a dog or whatever, you're having a bad migraine, whatever, there's something about getting on stage, shit just disappears. And then when you're done, it comes back.
It must be the adrenaline, probably.
I think it's adrenaline. But would you agree with that? That like whenever, if you're not feeling well that day or things are out of sorts or whatever's bothering you,
yeah,
you get on stage, it just kind of leaves. And
yeah, I think it's the adrenaline thing. Yeah, and I've never thought about it. I definitely have said that I never like drank or did drugs before I went on stage until the very end. But I definitely played hungover from the night before on stage many times.
So did the adrenaline kick in that night before, while you were still hungover from the LSD run? From the
That part I don't know, or if it just
disappeared.
It had run its course.
It had run its course.
Luckily,
Wow.
yeah. But I was so scared.
Did you ever do LSD again?
No, that was the last time.
That was it.
Yep, that was it.
There was
Went out on top, baby.
Hey, Billy. Hey, Jesus. Hey, unicorn. You're just like,
Jerry
hey.
Garcia.
I at a Metallica concert in Vancouver, British Columbia with, I want to say COC was the opening act. This was mid 90s. I am outside the loading dock. I have a pass. I have like a all access pass for the show. And some guy outside says, hey man, he goes, get me in the concert. And I go, sorry man, can't help you. And he goes, come on man, I'll give you some white.
I know. Yep. I was going to say, I know what's coming.
And I go, yeah. And he goes, yeah. And I go, do you have it on you? And he goes, yeah. And I go, all right, come on, let's go. And I walk him.
You have such a tour manager, security guard vibe too.
Really?
Come on in.
So I walk him in through the loading dock, out onto the arena floor. And this is when Metallica started doing those full arena floor stages that covers an entire basketball court. Like it covers up the entire arena floor.
Yeah.
Now they're doing it in a stadium where their stage covers the entire floor of a stadium.
Yeah.
And
it, open in the middle with the snake pit as well.
This is before they started opening up in the middle for the snake pit.
Okay.
And I bring this guy in and he's like, man, thank you so much. And I go, all right, man, give me what you got. And he handed it to me. And then I realized, and it's a small baggie. And I was like, this is Coke, right? Not crystal. And he goes, it's horse. And I go, it's what? And he goes, it's horse. And I go, I'm not following you. It's what? He goes, horse. And I go, what? And he goes, junk. And I go, what's junk? And he goes, heroin.
Yeah.
He's like out loud. He goes, heroin. And I was like, oh,
that's so crazy.
I'm holding heroin. I was like, oh man.
Did you get excited?
No, I didn't know what to do. I was bummed out. I was like, man, I wanted Coke. We had a deal, man.
Yeah. Surely you know where to get some, right?
My God.
Yeah.
You're handing me heroin, man. I wanted some cocaine. And I said,
might as well do it, I guess.
Yep. So how do I do this? And he goes, I go, can I snort this? And he goes, yeah, but you don't want to snort a lot of it. He goes, just do a little tiny amount. And I go, okay. And I was like, wow, okay. So I go up into a suite upstairs in the arena and go into the bathroom. Some friends might have a suite. And I was like, hey, suite holders, what's going on, man? Use your bathroom for a second. And I go in and it's a little tiny baggie. So I just put out a little bit of heroin and I make a ton. And the guy told me, make it like that long of a line. Like
for the kids at home, make sure you pay attention to this part.
Yeah, this is if you snort heroin, you want to do about this
blur
much.
that shit out.
Yeah, right there, this much. So I snorted that much, and walked around for like an hour, and I was like, went back up, I dumped the whole thing out, and I snorted it.
Ooh.
And then walking around
Much like me with the liquid LSD.
with the liquid
like,
LSD.
I'm not feeling it.
Not feeling it.
Let's go.
So about an hour later, the show had ended. So maybe it was a couple hours later. I remember going on somebody's bus and then sitting down and just feeling like a wave hitting me. That it just felt like I was being slowly rolled over by a wave that I just started to feel like I was going under a little bit, like I was about to nod out. And then I kind of came out of it. It was like this heavy, heavy NyQuil feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then my friends and I get in a car. We drive back over the border to go to Seattle. And there's a Denny's as you come over from the British Columbia, Washington State line. And I was like, let's go to Denny's. And we walked in the Denny's, and the smell of food at Denny's, I immediately ran into the bathroom and just started vomiting.
Really?
And I vomited.
This episode sponsored by Denny's. When you're on heroin and trying to lose weight, try Denny's. We'll get sued over that one.
Nothing.
Allegedly. Allegedly. That covers it, right?
You know how it is. You walk into Denny's and you go,
got room now. Let's go.
And I was physically nauseous for at least 24, 36 hours.
Woo.
Straight.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to friends who were into heroin, who had told me like, oh yeah, that's heroin, man. You gotta, I swear to you, talk to heroin addicts, they'll tell you, you gotta get sick. And then you feel it.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to get.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible. Actually, I hurt my back years ago after getting sober, and my doctor prescribed me some pills that were supposed to be non-addictive. I think it was a narcotic of some sort, but it was I can't remember which one it was. And I'm like, okay, I hurt my back. I was doing deadlifts, tweaked it. It was brutal. I mean, I couldn't move. It sucked. So then,
he's here.
Yes.
What's happening, mister?
What is up? Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah, I was just saying that I think it's a great personality type when someone laughs at themselves, and you are one of the goofiest people I've ever met. I mean that in the nicest way. I love that you laugh at yourself.
Thank you, bro. It's since day one, right? I mean, if you look at the KORN Who Then Now, that first documentary that we put out when we were children, I was so flipping goofy in that thing. I was pumping my tire in my VW beat up Bug. All the other guys got like their first check, and they got like a Mercedes. They got a BMW. Yeah. I went and put my money in the bank and got a VW Bug that was all beat up. And I'm sitting there pumping the tire in the first KORN documentary. So yeah, I've been goofy since day one.
Yeah, and
haven't changed.
Well, I shouldn't say this out loud, but I've only read 5 books in my life. 100% true.
Hey, Craig,
dude,
we know. We know, Craig.
I've read the first 10, 20 pages of hundreds of books, but there's only 4 or 5 books I've ever read front to back. I was so compelled right from the beginning, all the way through. And the first book, one of those books, is Brian's first book that he put out, talking about his experience of overcoming drug addiction, finding his faith. It was so compelling from the beginning. And I remembered when we were getting all of our friends from System of a Down, Lizzie Hale, and everybody to come and join us to share their Ozzy experiences. I was like, wait a minute. I could swear at the beginning of Brian's book, he says right from the beginning that Ozzy was when he got bit by the bug, was Ozzy. Am I correct remembering that?
So it was, if Angus Young and AC/DC was the band that lit the fire, Ozzy and Randy Rhoads poured the gasoline on that fire.
Nice.
Did you ever get to meet him?
Oh my gosh, bro. We've done so many tours, shows with Ozzy over the decades. Obviously not in the last, 10 years or so, but so many, bro. Our first arena tour was with Ozzy, and it was like Ozzy, Deftones, and KORN, and we went gold on one of those one of those tours. I think we did 2 arena tours on our first album with Ozzy, if I remember right. But we went gold, and we didn't know it until Ozzy and Sharon walked into our dressing room with bottles of champagne, telling us that we went gold. But not only that, they're telling us that we're going to have a long career in music. When we were just barely started, we weren't touring for a year.
Yeah.
And it was like, I mean, the most iconic manager in metal history is Sharon Osbourne, who got Ozzy, saved his life, bro. When he was in that hotel after Sabbath, saved his life, got him up, and gave him a bigger career than he had before. And she's telling us that we're going to have a long career in music. I'm just like going, am I dreaming right now? You know, Ozzy intimidated me like big time from day one. Jonathan was tight with him. You know, he would text him at all the time and stuff. But when I saw Ozzy, I wanted to get away because I could never stop looking at him like this giant figure. And I'm just going to say something stupid, you know, because I had posters of him on my wall. I remember when I think I got into him when Brad Gillis was playing for him from Night Ranger. It was a little bit after Randy, unfortunately, you know, passed. But I had Ozzy posters on my wall with remember when he had those fangs and blood coming out of his mouth? Then he had those little 2-foot high little dudes that were in the robes and everything. And my mom was like, you cannot have that on the wall. And my dad's like, let him be, leave him be.
Really?
So, bro, I mean, bro, I'm just telling you, like, what those 2 records did for me in 6th grade, Diary of a Madman and Blizzard of Oz. That's when the obsession came with music.
I know you guys were on the road when the final show happened. Were you watching the final show from wherever you were in the world?
Yes, definitely. And dude, I think we're all just like tripping right now that, you know, that 17 days later, you know, I know he was struggling, but I didn't know that nobody probably predicted this was going to happen so soon. And I look at it like, you know, I'm a spiritual person. I look at it like the kindness of God, just, you know, because the timing's shocking, you know, and it's like he could have passed before the concert, or, you know, it just looks like a kind gesture that the circumstances, call it what you want, but the circumstances were incredible that he was able to do that one last time with all of his closest friends, you know?
Yeah.
Did you ever get over the nervousness and actually start to bond with the guy and start to just hang with him and realize he was a normal human being?
Could never do it, bro. He was just too big for me. Dude, everybody else, bro, I could do it all day long, you know? But something about Ozzy, I just would say hi and keep walking.
Yeah.
Sharon, sweet. She was so sweet. And I felt more comfortable around her, his kids. You know, we met them when they were just little babies in 94, 95. And, but yeah, it was just, and he kept to himself a lot too.
Did he ever engage you or walk into your guys' dressing room when you guys were on tour to just say hello and share any funny moments with you? Or
once in a while, yeah. But early on, I've got to remember that, you know, I think he was his first couple attempts to be sober. And so Ozzy was like in his room on his treadmill, trying to stay in shape, trying to stay away from everybody that's going Richter and partying like crazy. And so, so he wasn't hanging out a lot. And even Jonathan wasn't, you know, nobody was tight with him early on because we're kids, bro. Like, you know, he was Ozzy. It's like this, you know, it's just, he's bigger than life. But as the years went by, and, you know, that's 95. And then we did a third, fourth tour with him at the Ozfest in 2003, about a year before I left KORN that time. And dude, I kind of like look at the first tour we did with them as like the entrance into the music world, and just so grateful that I had that. Every day I soaked up everything and watched his show every night. And then the last tour I did with him, I was on meth. I was partying so hard. I was in my bus. I didn't watch one show. I would hear Crazy Train in the background,
Whoa.
and I'm just like, I'm wasting my whole tour sucking up drugs in my nostrils, and my hero is out there, you know? And so I regret that big time, but we got so many good memories though. So I look at the positive.
Man, that story of isolation you're talking about, this, you know, Chris and I are both sober, so we talk about that all the time, about regrets we've had, about mistakes we've made, and moments like that where incredible opportunities are happening, but drugs are actually taking us away from being able to enjoy those moments.
And it's crazy because all of our stories start off doing drugs, hanging out with all of our friends,
having
fun, a party atmosphere. Every single one of us at the end of that run, hiding in our hotel room, looking through the peephole, paranoid about everything, completely isolated. So it goes from that huge party experience to complete isolation. Happens across the board for everybody that ends up getting sober.
When I saw Brian's book, and I mentioned this to Brian once, and I don't know if he remembers it, but we were both at the end of our runs at around the same time. It was over 20 years ago. I've been sober now 20 years. I remember right before I got sober, I ran into Brian on the road, and it was towards the end of his time with KORN before he walked away, before he came back again. And we were both just having this unbelievably honest conversation about how unhappy we were with our drug addiction, with our partying at the time. And we were both talking about how we need to get help. And it was this weird thing where we were both drinking and talking about how unhappy all of this made us.
Yeah.
And then,
all right. Cause like, and you're a master comedian, right? And you made us laugh so many nights. We got so many memories with you, bro. And, and just us sucking down Coke and just the laughter going away. You know, it's like,
oh yeah,
what's the point of partying like that when the smiles are gone?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then when the book came out, I was just like, God, this is the most honest book. I loved how honest it was. I can't even imagine what it was like from your perspective to hear from so many people for being so honest, how many people came to you either having been down that path before or had been inspired by where you had been. And at any point along the way, do you ever let other musicians know, like, hey man, if you need it, I'm here for you?
Totally. Yeah. And I love it because like that, I feel like maybe I was one of the first ones from that era to really just get real with themselves and start talking about the hard stuff. But bro, there's countless people out there that are just a light to so many. Like Chris is one of them. Chris Carroll, dude, you've done so much. I hear from so many people of just how much light you share with people, and it's incredible. And so yes, I'm there for people, and they know it. And Chris, people like Chris, and so many others are out there. Just we're trying to make the world a better place, our industry a better place. You know?
Absolutely.
I know you don't have a lot of time, but where were you when you found out that Ozzy had passed, and did you believe it at first?
Bro, I was on my chair with my feet up in my master bedroom in California, and I'm doing some emails or something, and my dad texts me. My dad's 86, and you know, all this stuff is making me think about life, you know.
Of course.
With my parents getting older, my daughter just had a 27th birthday, and then Ozzy just, you know, the Hulk Hogan, you got the Malcolm Jamal Warner. It just, I know that Hulk and Ozzy were older in age, you know, so that it just makes you think about our human nature and just how life, the journey of life is just the cycle of life is just going, and like it always does, but it gets real when you see, you know, my dad texted me about Ozzy. I was just like, no way, he just did a show.
Right.
And instantly I was just like, you know, I didn't see it coming that soon, bro. Nobody did, right?
No.
Is it just me?
It was the sequence of events that blows everyone's minds, that he actually got to go out and essentially experience his own funeral, and feel the love from everybody who say how much of an impact he had on everybody's lives. And he got to feel all that love, and then watch his daughter get engaged in front of him, get to experience all these incredible things. that we always say while people are still alive. People say, why don't we say these things to people while they're still alive? Why don't we tell them how much they mean to us while they're still alive? And he got
Yeah.
to hear all of that.
And how beautifully lucky for him to be able to have that experience. I mean, who hasn't thought about what are people gonna say when it comes to the end of your life? What effect did you have on people? He got to see all of that stuff, talking about the gifts of the universe being bestowed upon you. That right there.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, he had been working and working and working, trying to get to that point to be able to do that show. Fought through, put on an incredible performance, especially looking back in retrospect, knowing he was that close to no longer being with us and just got up there and shined. That light coming through him, lighting up the entire arena, that stadium, lighting up each one of us watching online.
All around the world, yeah.
And we were talking about this too just the other day, Brian. How great is it that Ozzy Osbourne, 77 years old, I have not heard a single story about Ozzy Osbourne being a dick. Not one out of all those years. That's amazing. That's the legacy that I hope for me. I don't know if it's possible, but I mean, to be able to have somebody so influential and so out there in public, I've never heard one story about him being a dick.
That says a lot, bro. Just for someone to carry that much weight of the responsibility of the power and the influence and the fame and being so kind to everyone and not one story like that, of negativity, then that says a lot about someone's character, honestly. Well, I know Ozzy struggled a lot with things in life. He's an open book about that, but I mean, that character speaks volumes, right?
You did mention about mortality. Did these sequence of events make you think about a day of how you'd like to maybe end a career with a final show? Do you guys ever talk about something like that?
You start thinking about things, it's like I said, bro, it's life is getting real, it's just I think we got a lot of years left, but you just when you see your parents getting older and your kids growing older, and it's just, I don't know how long I'll go to. You look at Mick Jagger and you get inspired, but with metal, it's like when you're screaming and you're flinging your body every which way.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, God bless Mick Jagger, but the vocals probably aren't that difficult to do as far as like, he's got one range.
Yeah.
And he's a legend. I'm taking nothing away from him. I'm just saying. So I started thinking about Metallica and, with his vocals and what he does and just the hardness of what they play. Like, I wonder how long, if Metallica is going to be like if they go like the Rolling Stones, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Agreed.
But their job's a lot harder. I feel like, again, I'm not taking nothing away from Rolling Stones. They're legends. The music is just so much more intense on your body and on your throat and on your, the drums, everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I don't know, bro. What do you think, Chris? Like,
I was thinking about not only the way that you throw your body around on stage, because you were incredibly active on there, but my God, you've got the best hair in all of rock and roll. That has got to be heavy on your neck. How's your neck doing these days?
The wig is still here.
Yes.
So, bro, my neck, I almost had surgery about 4 years ago.
Oh my God.
A friend, I made these shirts, right? Well, let me back up. I was going to have surgery because I was in so much pain for 4 months. A friend of mine came to me and said, I feel like you should give it 4 more months. I don't think you need the surgery. And I came up with the idea. I was like, okay, I have a tour coming up and I'm not going to be able to move.
Yeah.
So I made these shirts that said, I broke my neck for you. And I was going to wear these shirts. I was going to wear these shirts if I couldn't move.
Yeah.
But the tour came up about a month later, and I swear to you, I was getting therapy, stress, anything I could, and I got healed. And so
we were just talking about that. Yeah, just the adrenaline. Once the show starts and once you're there, how healing that is.
Yeah.
We were talking about in regards to like hangovers and stuff, but physical ailments, once that adrenaline comes through and you're on stage, how healing that adrenaline actually is. It's amazing.
Yeah, and But honestly, I couldn't move barely at all. I was up a lot throughout the nights, so I needed something to shift. And right before the tour shift, I never had to wear that shirt once. So
nice.
I wanted them to read something as to why I'm standing there like a friggin' statue. So, you know, I wanted some kind of an explanation.
Yeah.
Well, before we let you go, a couple things. One is, do you ever tell your daughter like dad jokes? Are you that kind of relationship with your kid?
Oh, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got a joke.
You know me. You know me.
I know. Because I have a joke for you that you can tell your daughter. All right. And it's one of those dad jokes that she'll probably shake her head and honestly might have Brian just block my phone number after this. But what is the difference between people from Dubai and people from Abu Dhabi?
What?
People from Dubai don't know about the Flintstones, but people from Abu Dhabi do.
Wow.
And ladies and gentlemen, Craig Gass's new comedy special coming out next month on YouTube.
I think so highly of you. You know, I did before this call.
Well, thank you for your time.
I got one. Wait,
go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Why does Snoop Dogg get an umbrella?
I don't know. Why did Snoop
drizzle? Oh, drizzle.
We're Southern California's Brian Welch.
We're losing watchers as we do this. The viewer count is going down as we're doing this. Brian.
Yeah. Not with that head of hair. The ladies' viewership just shot through the roof with all these dreads between me and him. Woo!
You're in one of the You're in one of my favorite bands of all time, but man, I love how silly you are, and I really wanted your thoughts. I know how much of an Ozzy fan you are, and also as a man with a strong faith, do you think about Ozzy and think about where his soul went after this?
I completely believe in the kindness of the divine being that rules everything, and I think we will all meet again.
I love that.
Love it.
Bro, I go to a movie right now. I'm going to a movie. Look.
No. Oh, no.
Let's see what that bad boy can do. What you driving? Jump that thing. Let's go.
Yeah, Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeehaw! I'm from Kentucky, baby. Let's go.
You know, it does leave us time to tell Brian a couple more jokes.
he might drive into that train if he's got to listen to any more of those jokes. He might be going to see Ozzy sooner. Have to listen to more of those jokes.
It's literally the viewer count is just going down.
Say, Brian, thank you for your time, sir. Thank you for your time.
Hey, I hope that I don't get pulled over right now because I'm on my phone and I got blacked out windows.
But if you do, just let them know. Let them know you're talking to the bass player for Five Finger Death Punch, because cops love Five Finger Death Punch. I've gotten pulled over 3 times, all for doing stuff that I should have gotten tickets for. God bless our fan base.
My license is like 6 months expired, and he passed me. Yes.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Love you too,
love
man.
you too. At some point, we'd love to talk to you about recovery somewhere down the road. Thank you again for your time, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Brian. I'll actually see you at MetLife. Yes. I'll see you at MetLife Stadium with System of a Down this summer.
Oh, come on. Hit me up, bro.
All right, I'll see you there.
Long live Ozzy. Peace.
Woo. Absolutely. Brian Head Welch, everybody. God, I love that guy.
I actually got to see his return to the stage with KORN. I forget where it was exactly, but he showed up. KORN was on the bill that day.
Yes.
And he's just kind of walking around. He was with his other band. The one with the blonde kid with dreads that he was also with. I forget the name of that band, but he showed up. They were on the bill earlier in the day, and it was the buzz all day long. Like, oh, really? Head's here. KORN's here. Is it going to happen? And you'd see him kind of talking a little bit, talking over here, talking over there. And I was up in the rafters. You know how you got the festival stage and those side viewing areas?
Yep.
Just watching up there. And the crowd couldn't see it, but I could see him putting his guitar on back behind the amps. I was like, oh, wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Question, was he wearing all white?
I don't recall that part.
Because I saw him on his second official reunion with KORN, and he walked out on stage wearing all white. And there was just something about that as an aesthetic that was
like a rebirth coming
yeah,
out of the out of the
yeah,
baptism, and boom.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Is what it felt like.
Powerful moment. Yeah, I love that dude. I actually ran into him in Cabo on vacation one year. I was posting about being in Cabo. He happened to be in Cabo as well, so we had to go have some Mexican food and chat recovery, chat all the other stuff, being out on the road and sharing light together. Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy, man. It's weird because, as kids growing up, we know that all the rock stars are partying and going crazy. So we start partying, we start going crazy, and then we get lost like everybody else does. And we start to know of people who are dying, people getting in trouble. And then you start to realize the same thing is happening with your rock stars you're looking up to.
Mm-hmm.
And they're starting to realize, hey, this lifestyle sucks and it's not manageable at this level. So you start to realize that a lot of your favorite whoever, athletes, musicians, comedians, a lot of them are in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're human beings,
Yeah.
we can't exist like that.
Absolutely.
For an entire life. It catches up to us. And I can't believe Ozzy made it. There was so many concerns from people. Is Ozzy really going to make it to that show?
Yeah.
Is he going to make it? I mean, is he in enough shape? And then talking to people who I ran into when I was at that Shinedown show a couple nights ago, Josh Adam Myers, the comedian, was telling me that he's working with a vocal coach who helped train Ozzy for months. And she said it was a struggle, like just to build up his strength to be able to sing for months, just to do that one show. And then he's gone.
Yeah. That's another thing too. Like, he had purpose doing all those exercises, getting ready for that show. That kept him alive. He was focused, driven, going towards that goal, managed to do that goal and crush the goal in front of the entire world. From that show all the way through his death. And even now today, however many days it's been since he's passed away, he has commanded the conversations in all of hard rock, heavy metal, and way outside of that. Like, how many people outside of hard rock and heavy metal also know Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many of our parents were calling us, hey, did you hear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. That's a story I keep on hearing over and over again. Yeah. So not only are our parents aware of Ozzy Osbourne, they're aware of the effect that Ozzy Osbourne has had on all of our lives as fans, as musicians, as comedians, just people in general.
The story struck me as one of those stories that you hear about of couples who are married for 40, 50 plus years. One of them is dying and they're waiting for the other one to get back to them before they go. There's so many stories like that. And that's kind of what I feel about Ozzy performing one last time, is that his body was failing him for years and he had to cancel so many tours. And they make this big announcement. All right, he's going to do one performance. It's his goodbye. And they get Jakey Lee and Zakk Wylde, Rudy Sarzo and Mike Inez. They get Metallica. They get Guns N' Roses. It becomes this massive, massive worldwide global event that's streamed online. And then his body is allowed to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the sequence of events is mind blowing. And I'm grateful that Brian joined us. Brian is a goofball. I love that dude.
Yeah.
So much. So
and so eloquently put about we will meet again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I got to meet with you tomorrow when we do this podcast again.
Yeah. We're going to be in Anchorage, Alaska and Wasilla, Alaska on August 7th in Wasilla, August 8th, 9th, and 10th at Coots in Anchorage, Alaska. I cannot wait to get up there. All the tickets are at getgas.com. Getgas with 2 S's.com. ChrisKale.com for all your stuff. And we're also going to be showing you footage soon. Something that Chris does from time to time that I thought was so cool. Chris hosted a tour of the Punk Rock Museum, and we're going to show you some of the footage from that. Oh my God. Did I find myself respecting the shit out of punk rock music because of the Punk Rock Museum?
Fat Mike from NoFX has built the Punk Rock Museum here in town.
I didn't know it was Fat Mike.
Yeah, it's his thing. Yeah. There's so many cool things in there. I love the city of Las Vegas. I love that there's so many things to do. People are always reaching out to me. Hey, I'm coming to Vegas. What should I do? Add the Punk Rock Museum here in Las Vegas to
Haunted Museum.
Yeah, to the Haunted Museum as well. Yeah, but highly recommended. So much wonderful memorabilia in there. stuff from just everybody, and including Lemmy is in there as well. Speaking of Ozzy Osbourne, you know, Lemmy wrote the very last song that Ozzy Osbourne performed live in his life, Mama, I'm Coming Home. That was written by Lemmy, and it's got some of his stuff in there. I don't want to give too much away. Get your ass to the Punk Rock Museum, see it your damn self.
By the way,
you will thank me later.
Can we just say, I was afraid to ask Brian whether or not he thought Ozzy went to heaven or hell.
Yeah.
And
Well, if they could see us, do you have the paper right there? Yeah. So he wrote heaven or hell on there. So the idea was for us to be like, hey, man, you're a spiritual dude. What do you think? You think?
Honestly, I want to know. Because Brian,
do it.
Brian is a guy of strong faith. And I go, man, I really want to ask him this question. And Chris went, whoa, that's a great question. I go, yeah, but I'm afraid to ask him because he's my friend and I don't want to offend him. And Chris goes, I'll ask him. I'm in 5 Finger Death Punch. I'll ask him.
I didn't say that. I said it's going to come better for me because I'm going to be a smart ass about it.
Right.
But hey, man, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Chris could do it in a character-y way that would be kind of silly, kind of fun.
Yeah. And I choke the fuck up when he goes, give me that. Give me that.
I wrote down.
I'm going to show you what Craig did.
Yeah.
As Brian's giving some feedback on there, Craig goes. I'm like, when I was asking about the neck, it was when I was asking about his neck.
Ask him about heaven or hell.
He goes. Like, I'm not asking that. Yeah.
No, now I'm gonna act out how Chris reacted. You hold up the sheet, and then I'm gonna be like, yeah, Brian. So your neck got your neck
yeah, I did go. I go.
You do it. And I was like, we agreed to this.
You're the funny man.
We agreed to this. You're going to ask the question.
You've seen my crowds versus yours. You take that hit.
Oh, man. Thank you.
I could pay your rent. You can't pay mine.
Thank you to Brian Head Welch, one of the coolest people on the planet. I adore that guy.
I say that because Craig is technically homeless.
Yeah.
He doesn't have rent. I play bass. I ain't paying nobody's rent.
Next week, we have a bunch of musicians that are jumping in. Musicians. I'm not asking the question. Man. Wait, do it again. Hold the note up. Next week, we're good. Not doing it. Fuck you, Chris. It's my show. Next week, we're going to be joined by a ton of musicians who want to share their stories and personal memories of Ozzy. So, Brian Head Welch, thank you for this week's episode. We'll see you guys next week as Chris
doing another act out. Craig is essentially my comedy manager.
I'm not doing it, man.
He goes. And I go. He goes, am I your comedy manager? What? Do the goddamn joke.
It wasn't a joke. It was a legit, like, you're a man with strong faith. Did Ozzy go to heaven or hell? I wanted to ask him.
Yep.
And just cut out my mic.
Yep. We didn't want to be disrespectful because heaven or hell, that's Dio, Black Sabbath. We didn't want to bring that up, you know? Yeah.
But you know what? Brian answered it like a champ. I mean, Brian's
much better answer than I would have had.
Yeah. Brian's just a good dude, man. I love doing this show. I love that we have a platform to be able to bring in our friends because, like, whenever I hang out with these people, it's always talking about comedy and telling jokes and not the jokes that I told today. Those were dumb dad jokes. But we always end up hanging out, laughing and laughing and laughing. But this is a forum for us to actually be able to go like, hey, man, I know this about you. I've always wanted to ask you this about your life or about your perspective. So this is... And
it was a chance for Craig to humble brag that he actually read a book.
Yeah. I've read 5. I've read the first 10 pages of a bunch of books.
Coloring books don't count.
Yeah. I'm drawing Chris's girlfriends. I just have that one color that I use.
Oh, my God.
The dark brown. Dark brown over and over again. Here's Chris's girlfriend. This is the base of Chris's girlfriend. Heaven or hell, Chris? Heaven or hell?
Fucking heaven, man. Heaven. Actually, some of the ones I dated.
We'll see you in Anchorage, Alaska and Wasilla, Alaska. Dates coming soon for Cincinnati, Anaheim, and Green Bay. But Anchorage and Wasilla, you're next. Beardo and Weirdo. Heaven or hell?
Hey, Billy.